keep your head in the game. Just keep your head in the game. And don't be afraid to shoot the outside, Jay.
What is up, everybody? It is I, Alex the Boogeyman, title boxing from Pittsburgh with your focus point. Lately, we've been talking about variations of body shots, variations of left hooks, variations of right hands, footwork, moving different types of steps we can do, pivot steps, shuffle steps, all kinds of steps. This week, we're going to talk about different variations of head movement for defense. And you can generally divide these up into 4 different categories. The first one is slips, or slips. Don't know which way to say it. You tell me, but I do know how to do it. A slip is turning your shoulders and moving your head off the center line. So the idea is, imagine somebody's coming straight at me here. I'm just moving my head to the side. I think the biggest problem people have with slips is they overthink them. Really, it's not a big movement. You're just kind of twisting a little bit and you're moving your head off the center line. So if somebody's coming straight at you, you're moving your head to the side. As little movement as possible. So you don't need to duck down when you slip. You don't need to lean back when you slip. I see a lot of people kind of doing the matrix sometimes. You slip. It's very simple. It's just side to side. That's it. Now, a roll is where we duck down and we go underneath punches. Now, I could do this to a punch coming straight at me, or I could do it to a punch coming circular, like a hook punch is coming at my head. I duck down, go underneath, and then I counter. The biggest problem people have with rolls by far is it's almost like they try to combine a slip and a roll. So they'll start to turn and then they'll duck down. And I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to dodge a punch that way, you might, but you also could run into a punch and make it much, much worse. So if I'm trying to dodge a hook coming at my head and I turn as I'm going down, I could just run right into the punch, right in the temple, and that's terrible. So the important thing on a roll is I must duck first and then go underneath. Hopefully that worked with me just one hand punching myself, and you get the idea. So duck first, then go underneath. Now, another thing people do with rolls is sometimes they get off balance. And obviously you don't want to be off balance in anything you do in boxing. And the reason is because when they move their head, their head comes out over their feet. So if you see when I roll, I want to keep my head inside the feet. If my head goes to the outside, yes, I'm going to be off balance. And no, that's not good. Another thing people do when they roll, and it's very easy to get into this habit, especially if you did a lot of dancing in the 80s, is you kind of use your arms to help swing, kind of like your Courtney Cox and Bruce Springsteen dancing in the dark. Now, as fun as that is, and a perfectly valid way to dance, it's not a good way to roll. You want to keep your hands up by your head. Number 1, so you can counter faster. Number 2, if you don't get low enough, I at least want some cushioning there to protect my head. Then we have a pull. Pulling backwards. Pulling your head back. Now I say straight back, it's not exactly straight. You generally want to pull, if you can, over your back foot. I'm right-handed, that's my right foot. So I'm coming a little bit to the right as I pull my head back. When I do that, I don't want to be off balance. So if I pull straight back like this, or over my left foot, I'm going to be off balance. And again, sometimes you've got to dodge punches that way. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But in general, you want that balance. So I'm going back on my right foot. So even though I'm leaning back, I feel very strong back here with my leg behind me, and I can quickly come forward and counter. Now you may notice, unlike the rolls, when I pull back, my left hand is dropping, and it's kind of covering my midsection. I'm doing that on purpose. We break the rule of always having your hands up, generally when we pull. And the reason is because we're talking millimeters, I don't know, very small units of measurement in which I can dodge the punch. If my hand is up, I get punched into my own face, which happened to me several times. It's embarrassing. So I want to make sure that I've got as much room as possible to get my head out of the way. Now, if I don't go back far enough, I've always got my right hand to help me, or if they end up punching me in the body, I've got a little coverage there. So I'm doing that on purpose. The key is you just got to make sure when you pull back and counter, you bring that hand right back up to your head, especially when you're still learning. Get those good habits in. And then the final defensive head movement thing we're going to do are ducks. ducking straight down. Sounds like what it is. Not the animal, the duck, but ducking as in bending your knees, dropping your hips down. The biggest problem I think you'll have with ducks, and it's just because we do this when we roll. When I roll, I duck and then I twist. I duck and then I twist. When I duck, I'm not shifting my weight. Everything we do in boxing is shifting weight. When you throw punches, I'm shifting weight from one foot to the other. When I do defensive movements, I'm shifting weight from one foot to the other. When I step, shifting weight from one foot to the other. When you duck, you actually don't. So for instance, if I throw like a jab cross hook, my weight should be on my back foot, on my right foot. I duck down, my weight is still there. I'm not resetting. So it's not jab, cross, hook, come back, duck. You might do that. But the idea of a duck is it's just a straight drop like, oh crap, right? But it also keeps me loaded on that side to come back with a counter. So that's usually a duck and a roll, and really that would make a duck different than all the other defensive head moves. Now, of course, you could move all kinds of weird ways, but those are not generally things people do in boxing. What we do, because of course people don't just throw one punch. So oftentimes we have to do multiple defensive movements together, stacking them together. Now, I think the biggest problem people have with this, I don't know this, but it's a theory, is that they try to imagine everything together instead of step by step. So for instance, if we're gonna do a slip, roll, pull, people think, oh my God, that's slip, roll, pull, what? Instead of just thinking, okay, I know how to slip, I know how to roll, I know how to pull. Just like I would jab, cross, hook, right? You're just thinking one step at a time. Don't try to look at the whole thing and go, oh my God, that sounds really hard. If you do that, you're gonna doom yourself. Just think of it step by step, one thing at a time. That's what we're gonna work on this week. Different types of head movement for defense. I'm gonna throw in a bonus. Technically, this is not even head movement, but let's say a punch is coming at my midsection. Now, of course, we might block those punches, but today this week we're talking about evasion. So I also can pull back with my hips. Not optimal necessarily, unless I want to get away from somebody, but instead of pulling back with my head, I'm just pulling my hips back to defend a body shot. That'll be our bonus. That's what we're gonna do this week. We're gonna take it step by step. We're gonna dodge the punches. We're gonna get that slick, smooth head movement because defense wins championships, and that is how we do